So we do have that. And Ron, I will go ahead and turn the session over to you now.
All right. Thank you, Jamie. Good evening, everyone. Glad that you could make it, and we're happy to have you. My name is Ron Stewart, and I work with TRECA in their federal programs. And I don't know if you're familiar with the federal programs. There's been a lot of talk the past 2 years. You've heard the word ESSER. And we're going to talk a little bit about those funds. But primarily, I want to talk to you about our regular federal funds that we get to help kids. And the funds that we generally get are from the Elementary and Secondary Act of 1965. And I know many of you were not here. And unfortunately, I was around then. But the main thing is, as Jamie said, we're required to have this meeting. We're required to have a lot of meetings with parents to make sure that you have input into the programs that we're doing, the programs that we're planning, and the programs that we're evaluating. That's why we do this in the fall and in the spring. In the fall, we're kind of confirming what we're doing. And in the spring, we're looking over our shoulders to see where we've been and if it's been successful, and then use that information to write our grants for the coming year. The programs we're going to be talking about come through the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. And that is an act that's under the original passing, if you will, of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. And what happens, just a little bit of government, is as the act is passed, they keep that name, and then they just make supplemental types of tweaking on it and give us new funding. It essentially has changed a lot, but it's still considered, if you would ask somebody, Elementary and Secondary Act, they usually don't know what it is, but our monies come from that act directly, even to this day. We have specifically Title I, which Title I is basically for reading and math. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a cough. I don't think I got a cold, just got a cough. But Title I, when you remember it, just remember supplemental help, extra help with reading and math. That's basically Title I. Title IIA, as you see there, is training, staff training. And we spend a lot of time on training because education has become complex, it has become complicated, and has become research-based. So our teachers need to be up to date on all of this. And I can't show you all the activities tonight that teachers are provided to improve their skills, but we will. We can do that. And ask your teachers. Just get on there and ask them what type of professional development they're getting. And they do get a lot. They get some after school. They get some on Saturdays. We send people out to various campuses, and we bring speakers in so they can get it a variety of different ways. And of course, you can also get it online. And we spend a lot of time. We just don't say, go do this. We're looking at specifically what we believe our teachers need, because we evaluate and observe our teachers every day. We observe them and we evaluate them at least once a year. So we kind of know what they need. So from there, we make a professional development plan for each and every teacher. So that's what we use those funds for. I'll come back and tell you how much money. Well, let me tell you how much. Title I receives about $600,000. It's not a whole heck of a lot to do what we do. It primarily hires teachers, Title I teachers. I think we have 8 or 9 of them. We get some parent coordinators out of it. We also get some supplies, and that's what we do. And we've done that for a long time. We get pretty good results from our input. Title II-A has, let's say, $100,000. We have a couple of academic coaches that work with our teachers. Sometimes they'll work with kids, but primarily they'll work with our teachers as part of their training. Title III, we really don't get much money. That's for English language learners. Those are for kids who do not speak English. And they're coming to us really with no English language skills. So we have a few dollars that the county office, education office, works with us, but we also do some things with Title I and our Title IV grants to make sure that those kids have good instruction. But we don't have that many English language learners. We're growing, but we don't have an enormous amount. I think we have 20. Title IV is a flexible grant, which all of these have enormous rules. The regulations on this goes about 1,600 pages. And pretty much to manage these grants, you've got to know what's in those pages. But Title IV gives us an opportunity to do some other things besides academic, if we want. And those things include well-rounded education. In other words, bringing in such things as high school advanced courses. We can do some STEM programs. We can do music programs. We can do a lot of things that normally we wouldn't be doing if we didn't have the dollars. Also with it, we can do health, counseling. The kids after the COVID, just counseling in general. A lot of our kids enjoy the counseling. We do career counseling, we do behavioral counseling, and we try to be pretty good at it. And we've got, you know about the SAFE staff, and they're all the time working on this. And we also have some professionally trained counselors that we have, on contract. We also do some technology with it, not much because we're technology driven as it is. We have an opportunity for that. So it's a nice grant. It's a good grant. It was meant to use the dollars to close some of the gaps of learning loss and then expand it into some enrichment. And I think that helps the kids, certainly during this time of COVID. Our students still suffered from some of the effects of COVID, but probably, and I don't want to understate the effects of COVID on our staff, on our students, but we did a lot better because the kids were used to the effects of distance learning, of electronic learning. And so we did quite well. So these grants are, that Title IV grant is used for that. We also have the Elementary and Secondary Emergency Relief Fund, and that's the ESSER, and it's 3 grants, which include ESSER 1, ESSER 2, ESSER 3. We have special ed, the IDEA Title VI grant, and we have an American Recovery Plan, IDEA, which gives us a little bit more money. In the aggregate of the consolidated grants, the grants that are Title I, II, III, IV, and the IDEA grant, we're talking about probably right around $1 million, about $1 million, $1.1 million. That is used for, first and foremost, direct student instruction, direct student intervention, teachers, counselors. We have a couple of aides. We have to do parents with that. So with parents, I'm going to talk about it in a minute. we put money in there for parent training and parent meetings, such as this. So we use the dollars. We don't use the dollars for frivolous things. You're prohibited from doing that. You're prohibited from using these funds to do what we have to provide anyway. That's called not supplanting. But I think overall we do a really good job. And the Department of Education at times has commended us for our work. And I will say, just one note that I always like to brag about. Every one of our teachers have the appropriate license. They're fully licensed. With the old act that just expired a couple of years ago, they were also, and still are, highly qualified, which means they have extra stuff. They'll have a master's degree. They've taken extra courses. So that's a nice thing. You can't take away somebody's education. So even though the law changed, said you didn't need all that, we still have it. So we're good. We utilize things through a one plan. The one plan is the school-wide plan. The school-wide plan actually looks at a review process that in detail with parents on the committee and with teachers, administrators, we look closely at the instructional program, one. We look closely at the areas of professional development. We look at data that includes the graduation rates, and we look at safe and healthy schools, what we need in those programs, and that becomes our one plan. That basically drives everything we're doing. And if you have any recommendations or any thoughts, let us know. If you don't have any right now, but you come up with some or you want to share some, would you please send it to Jamie Staten, and she's got her email in here. Do that, because it's very important to us as we make the notes from our meeting today that we solicit your input on whatever it is. So let's also take a look at, I'm probably going to crack my voice here a little bit, but the areas of the school-wide plan we've mentioned include instruction, professional development, parent involvement. And let me just talk about parent involvement. Parent involvement is not just something on our lips. It's something in our doing. It's something in our DNA when we work with kids in the electronic world. We know that we count on you, just as we count on our staff. We count on you 100% to support the effort of educating our kids. Really, we can't do it without you, and I think you figured that out. We can't do it without you because you need to monitor. You need to participate. You need to really work shoulder to shoulder with us. And we really try to provide you with the skills and the tools necessary to do that. What you're seeing right now is our parent engagement plan policy. And what this says, and you can read it, it's on our website. I'll try to get locked in. I'll be right with you.
Got to spray around here, but stay right where you're at.
We're going to spray around me.
Yeah, I'll spray around you.
I'm in Cleveland right now at another district school. But what we want to do is make sure you read that and understand it. We've spent a lot of time revising it, and we'll revise it again as you and we see necessary. So be sure you read it. And if you dislike it or want something changed, you need to talk to Jamie, because here in about a week, we're going to put a date on here that we have reviewed it together. And you and us together have reviewed it. So take a look at it. And also take a look at the parent compact. We call it the the parent pledge. The parent pledge is similar to the parent engagement plan, but it just simplifies it a bit and says, this is what we're going to do. We as TRECA are going to do for your kids and yourself, and what you need to help us do. And you need to look at that. And again, if you see some changes or something you want strengthened or object to, be sure you let us know before a week from today so we can go ahead and send to the Department of Education the endorsement that we have all reviewed it. It's not necessarily that, you know, everybody has to agree, but everybody has to be part of the review process. And that's why we thank you for being here. So you have those two documents. They're also on the website, and they're kept up to date. And you'll be able to take a look at it. Teacher licensure is one of the things that you have a right to know. In addition to your right to participate in our planning, evaluation, and funding of our federal programs. Again, we'll make opportunities available so that you can take a look at our plans, participate in developing those plans, implementing the plans, and then evaluating the plans and how we use the funding. And that's open to you through our community school leadership team. So be on the lookouts for that, and we'll have you help with that. If you see things right now, again, that you see that, hey, be sure you get this in there, let us know. Send it to Jamie. She's got very broad shoulders and she can handle this. So don't worry about it. Jamie's wonderful, by the way, in getting this together for us. So we have those, and those are rights to know. I talked about the right to know, the teacher certification, licensure. So we have that. Now, let me go back in a little bit into Title I. Title I is, when you look at the regulations, it's complex. When you really look at what we're doing, it's pretty doggone common sense. We're going to put money, the majority of our money goes into staffing teachers. We get the best teachers we can, and we train them, and then we let them work with the kids in most need of improvement. Most need improvement. You come in there and, you know, we test kids and so forth. And let's say a youngster is in the 6th grade and is reading at the 2nd grade. That youngster is going to get help through Title I. Probably already is. If they have problems with math, that's going to happen. But it's a very dedicated staff. The whole staff is dedicated. Let me not kid you and short out any of our 40-some teachers. They look at this every day, obviously, but the Title I instruction is available. The support is there. Talked already about the Title II professional development. Extremely important. And again, we do it in several ways. We prescribe what teachers need. We have them look at what their professional skills are, plus any skills that they may want to develop. We let them pick out some professional development. And then we bring in speakers to address an overall training opportunity, as well as sending some teachers to the campuses and so forth to further their skills. What we're after with the professional development is we want them to understand, be able to develop and rely on evidence-based teaching. Evidence-based is kind of research-based. In other words, we're just not going out there and just saying, hey, we're going to do this, and not have a real idea of whether it works or not. So we've always kind of required that, but the Congress who initiates these grants have also put in the regulations that we have to really look at only doing evidence-based programs. Evidence-based programs, by the same token, are hard to come by, research. But we have done it, and we look we basically do some of our own research through literature, through looking at that, through the universities and so forth to see what will best work for our kids. And that's what we're after. Bottom line, we want that development to result in better teaching, better instruction, and better learning. Again, the key to bridge teaching and learning are you. So we still need you in that equation. The Title IV I talked about a bit. Again, it's a relatively small grant, $40,000-$50,000, but it gives us an opportunity to utilize those funds to do some other things with the kids, give them some break from solid academics, let them get into, we can do some extra music, we can do health, we can do nutrition, teach them about these. We can do physical education if we wanted. We try to do things that expand their knowledge. It's really called well-rounded, which to most people doesn't mean much. You really have to define it. And well-rounded to us is actually giving kids an opportunity to learn more through maybe a little more relaxed environment, a little more relaxed opportunity where you're not necessarily getting graded on things. It works well when it's done well, and it works not so well when we don't. We've been fortunate. We've had some good programs. We try to do programs that are meaningful, and some of the meaning comes out of counseling, like we're doing some counseling through our SAFE group. We're also doing some career exploration. So it kind of gives you some broadening of the curriculum of the regular academics. I think the bug spray is working too. I might wilt, I think. So we have that. Do you have any questions? Don't be shy. Jamie, or do you have any comments? And be sure you complete the survey.
Yes, I will email the survey out to the families that attended today, so they can be checking their emails for that tomorrow. So they can fill out the survey, or they can always give us a call or email us at any time.
Mrs. Westendorf, do you have any comments?
No extra comments today, Ron. Thank you. You did a great job.
Okay, thank you. Well, Jamie put it together, so I'm not gonna kid myself. She's the power behind the screen. But do complete the surveys. We thank you very much. Look for things on our website so that we can announce when these planning opportunities come by for you. We try to make them convenient as possible. We also try to make it really meaningful for the time that you spend. So do indeed have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jamie.
you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
I think I'm losing.
Thank you,
my-
Ron.
I think I'm losing my voice.
Thank you, everyone.
I've done